What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you guys for joining each and every time you guys do decide to join me on our own private road again, man. Me and Gio about to test these bikes out. Guys, let's get these cars out of the way. We want to see how quick these bikes are. We want to see if it's worth the hype for 117 or get the CVO ST with the 121 in it. I don't think we've seen anybody really test these bikes like this. We're probably gonna try and run an 8th mile. We won't be going that fast. At least I don't think I am. The prediction is Gio's 117 is gonna win the race because it hooks. It definitely is gonna have more traction than I'm gonna be able to have. I've already tried to make a test run with my bike and it just annihilates the tire. Gio tried to make a little hit with it and it annihilated the tire. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna each make a test pass on our own bikes and then we're gonna switch. So that's gonna probably confirm for us what these bikes are gonna really end up doing. Then the second thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take these bikes out on the highway, do a little roll run, man. It's not gonna be anything crazy or dangerous, but we have plenty of open space. We have an okay to maybe it's all right road here. So guys, don't expect to see anything fast. No, we're just basically trying to show you guys a comparison between the two bikes. I think I'll win on the top end when we go and do pulls on the highway. I think he's gonna win when we actually are able to do a little drag run. So what's your prediction, man? Same, pretty much the same.
Your bike is skating.
Given guys, Gio's about 15-20 pounds heavier than I am. Mm-hmm. That's not helping me at all. Nope. We just filled up the gas tanks together, so we know apples to apples what everything is. I'm going in my best mode on my bike, which is track mode, turned all the way up. He's going with his custom mode, turned all the way up. And we're gonna see if it makes that much of a difference.
Tire pressure is the same.
So tire pressure is exactly the same.
Factory.
It's factory tire pressure on factory wheels. This is the last time you'll probably ever see those two bikes factory stock. Okay, that's the last time you're gonna see them stock. So we're gonna get out here and actually make a test pass. Shout out to the cameraman today, guys. We're going. Let me heat this tire up. Hold on. Good. It's spun. I didn't heat it up enough. So what you want to do? You want to swap? All right, guys, it was a pedal fest. Yeah. The first time, Gio, I think we cut the lights together on both runs. Our cameraman is doing two jobs today. He's actually banging a light. You guys can't see it. That's how we know to take off. So he's hitting the light and we're leaving together, but we both know we're on these Dunlap tires. You're not getting much traction. So you're not leaving super hard. So if it looks like two turtles going down the road, until we hit about second gear probably.
That's when it turns into a race.
That's when it starts. That's when we start the race. We're just trying to get from
clean out the hole.
Get a good 60 foot or a decent 60 foot. The first one, I got it. But we can tell that the bike is a combination of weight and power. The bike moves.
Yep.
I got out on the first one. I think like I said, we cut the light together. I didn't spin. I kind of stayed there. I think it was maybe 3-4 bikes.
Yeah, at least.
So you guys can't see it, but it's probably like 3 or 4 bikes. I can see him in my rear view. The second race, he jumps out. He gives it a little more RPM.
Yeah, I went up a little bit on the RPM.
So he left a little harder on the bike. And I spun the bike, but I just said, you know what? If it's gonna spin, it's just gonna whatever, because we're going to probably switch bikes. Maybe we might switch bikes. So after it cleans up the spin, it comes back around top of second, third gear. So we know, pound for pound, that the bike has more power. I'm shooting with it right now. I'm starting to say now. We both know if you do a stage 2 to his 117, it annihilates the 121. Is it cost effective? Yeah, I think it is cost effective if you go 117 versus going 121, just to drop in a cam and a pipe, and now you're ahead in the race. But I think all in all, man, the bikes are acting pretty good. They're shifting good. We're not having any struggle with the bikes. It's just trying to get traction out here. Ride the bike.
I think that second race was a good way to see, all right, that 117 got in front for a gear. Yeah. And then that 121 just reeled it right back in.
Yeah.
You know, so you really can see, even if there's a mishap on the line because of tire, traction, whatever it may be, that 121's got enough to come around.
It had enough to make up 3 gears. Now we were cutting it close. I think, how many bikes you think on that second race?
2? Yeah.
So about 2 on the second race, probably 4 on the first race. But it came from behind, so it had to make up ground. I think we made up ground by third gear. By third gear, it started pulling back around the bike. Harley, you did a good job out there, man.
Big time.
You did a fucking good job.
Phenomenal bike.
I think we're gonna go ahead and start this road race. We're gonna see what happens. I think we're gonna switch bikes on this one though. Let's go.
I couldn't. You gotta do it faster. Do it faster.
Theo, you might not win.
Huh?
You might not win.
It gets out. It gets out.
All right, guys. I just gave his bike all I could, man. Perfect launch. Shift points were perfect. 4 bikes, maybe?
Yeah.
He fucking he got out and he stayed out and he opened it up some more. And what I could see, I'm looking over, you know, these new Road Glides, you can see clear over the front of them. And I could just see the bike sitting there and staying there. And you could tell it was probably, I want to say you had 5 miles an hour on me the whole time. Good race.
Yeah.
Listen, you have about equal drivers, man. There's a little weight difference, but it doesn't make much of a difference for what we're doing. 8th mile is not going to make much of a difference. After the 8th, maybe a little bit, but we're not that far off in weight. What are we, 15 pounds? 15, 20 pounds difference. It's not going to make that much difference, especially on these bikes that, you know, are made for pulling some weight. What do you think of that?
I think it's exactly what we saw the first races. If you can take it, if you can get it out the hole clean, I mean, it's a ripper, and you're not catching it. That standard will not catch it. I
think that this is,
but it is a pedal fest.
Yeah, you got
it. Is where this 117, you could really just boom, blow it up, and it'll take it. That 121's got some power.
First gear, I had your bike wide open.
Right.
I'm here first gear. I'm watching the RPMs, and when I shift, I said it bumps the tire. But if you can't pull that bike in by then, it's not gonna happen. No. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I figured it would just destroy it out the hole, and then the 121 will come around. And nope, that 121 can stay in front,
and it'll stay there.
Yeah,
it'll get out, stay there. So we did all our races on a light, and the last one we did a hand drop. We just want to try every different way that we possibly could think of. We sat our cameraman further down. We did a bunch of things to try and see some type of a difference, and it is what it is. I think you get what you paid for, but we're gonna go and talk about this. We go. We'll be right back. At the car. At the car. Guys, I've never had this much fun on a stock bike, man. By far, the most fun I could have on something that came straight from the factory. No issue with it. Like, there was no weak spots.
No.
There was no weak spots in these bikes. Either bike, I'm talking shifting, I'm talking power. You have to know where to, you know, shift that because it will run out of power. But all through the rev range, there was no, like, nothing that was crazy that I was like, I don't like this about the bike. The clutches felt good. Mm-hmm. You know, getting the clutch out of your hand is usually, depending, you know, older bikes, you had to do a few things. You had to upgrade the clutch. I feel like that this bike is gonna handle some power. Yes, of course, if you go crazy, you're gonna have to upgrade some hard parts. But as of now, you put a cam in these bikes, it's going to fly, especially if you know what you're doing and trying to, you know, just basically test this bike to its limits.
Yep.
We put these bikes on their limits, and they took it like champs.
Yep. No issue, no overheating issues.
No.
Basically, you can just give them the beans, and they'll take it.
Granted, let's hit the nail on the head here. The Standard is a way more comfortable bike, by far. As soon as I got in on it, it just felt like, okay, this was what I was doing to my older bikes to make them more comfortable. This bike, you just get on, it's already comfortable. The clutch, the softness, the smoothness, swinging a U-turn with this bike, it just felt
at home.
It was not heavy on a U-turn. Like the older bikes, they're heavy. You're trying to fight, you know, that friction zone and make sure it's all correct. Given, yeah, we got some monsters over there, but at the same time, it shouldn't be. The center of gravity is just a little bit different.
Yes,
I feel like
the weight, where they put most of the weight inside the fairing, they tried to take weight out from inside the fairing, and since it's not that high anymore, that makes a big difference when it comes to low speed stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like 90% of the riders are going to be comfortable on that Standard. That's what they're looking for.
Yes.
As far as comfort is concerned.
Better seat. I'm gonna give that to the Standard. I'm gonna give it to the Standard. It's more comfortable.
Yep.
You're more usable. I'm 180 pounds. Gio's a couple pounds heavier than me.
About 200.
So I don't fit the CVO ST seat as well as I fit his seat. Right. It's too much space. So whoever they made it for was probably a taller guy. I'm 5'8", Gio's about the same. Yeah. So we're about the same height. And I got lost in the seat. I don't know about you, but I kind of felt like, you know, they could have did a little bit better. Right. But I can't take it from them. It's still a premium looking seat. Yeah. What they came up with aesthetically is on point. I don't take anything aesthetically from Harley on this one. Right. You have premium paint. You got premium wheels. You have premium sound system.
You got more modes.
You have
the CVO ST.
You have, I think it's maybe 3 more modes. You have track. You have your custom A's, custom B's. That's what you guys have too.
I only have custom A.
Oh, so you only have custom A. So I got custom A, custom B, track, and a track plus. Yep. So that's about 4 more modes. Yep. That's gonna come into play later on down the line when guys start. You know, if you want to use different fuel in your bike, they're gonna be able to go in and set your mode for that fuel. I'm making a big prediction because they did it on a lot of the sport bikes back in the days, and they're doing them now like that, where, you know, you can retard timing for certain fuels and turn timing up for certain fuels, and that's going to be one of those things. You guys already have the custom A, so that's probably going to be your way to get around that as well. We're going to go look around this bike. Both bikes, we already know better suspension, maybe, because that bike did not feel.
It doesn't feel.
The standard does not feel like it's that far of a difference. Yeah. Maybe throwing it in the curves, that's where you'll notice it. Yeah. But out on there, what we were doing, I didn't notice a difference.
Adjustability, I think, with the CVO ST is where you're obviously up far ahead. You can actually get in there and turn the suspension up, down, depending on what you want to do.
Absolutely. Now, Gio had to teach me something. He said, you ride around in sport mode. Nah, man, you got to put this in custom mode. And custom mode is a little sketchy.
Yep.
Let me tell you, it's very, if you're not paying attention and you hit a bump, you might be, sending that bike down the road. Yeah. So you have to be kind of careful. I usually ride the bike in sport mode, but during all the, the testing, I turned the bike all the way up, gave it everything it had, and yeah, man, it's a fun bike to ride. Now, is it worth the difference in price? It just depends on who you are.
Depends on who you are and what you like to do with them. You know, I think CVO ST, if you are not going to really mess with this bike, if you're just going to leave it somewhat what you get from the factory, it's a solid bike. And I think you're going to enjoy everything that it does. Maybe a few minor touches aesthetically, but it's a great bike out the box. If you're the type that likes to make some power and you might want to get in there and take that motor apart and you got an All-American cycle around that show up there and talk to George, then I think you should just go with that standard.
I feel, and tell me if I'm wrong, if you put a cam, let George do a stage 2 on the 117, it should be able to beat that 121.
Ooh, yeah.
I think that will really happen. I've seen numbers, but I think
we got some 117 stage 2 around here that
whoops ass.
Yeah, they put it on people.
Whoops
and
ass.
They're keeping up with motors that should not be beating it. They're doing it.
Hey, so the gearing is different on these bikes.
Yeah.
That helps a lot. I think the weight is a little bit different on these bikes. That may be helping too. But we saw the most difference going from second to third maybe. Yep. And it was basically whoever 60-footed. I can't even say that really, because the 60-foots were, we were pedaling. We were pedaling bikes. His bike was easier to 60-foot though. I was able to get the wide open throttle like that when you just know that, the ST just outpowered it. So is it worth $15,000 difference, $20,000 difference? Now, this is all depending on where you at, and we're not going to tell you how much we pay for our bikes, but I can tell you we got good deals. We couldn't find better deals anywhere on either one of these bikes. So whether it be, a couple $1,000s difference or a big chunk of change difference, guys, you get so much bang for the buck, but I don't think you could go wrong either way because both of these bikes give you way more than what 23 and below gave you. Now, I know I keep preaching that, but we just have 4 guys, me, you, Ben, and he just bought one like mine.
Yeah.
Just 4 guys in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Oh my God, that's four guys that have bought that converted over, and they couldn't be happier. Yeah. Like I said, you have to go out and really play with the bikes and test the bikes and kind of see the difference. Now I'm gonna take you over to the bikes, guys, so you can see visually what we're looking at. I think suspension alone is probably, what, $2,500 if you put one on a standard.
Yep.
And if you do the inverted front end, you're probably looking at a little bit more than that, $4,000.
Yeah, $4,000 to $5,000.
$4,500. Yeah. I mean, $5,000. So you have to take that all with a grain of salt, guys. I'll say it again. I think the CVO-ST is like the suit and tie. I think the standards, no matter what you get, you customize them to how you want to dress them up. You can be suit and tie, you can be jeans and collar shirts, you can be a cowboy, you can be anything you want with the standard.
Full race suit.
You can be a full race suit. You can put this bike in just like 20 different categories, which is a good deal. And you can go out and get them for the right price. So I'm going to take you guys over to the bikes, and we're going to just look at them real quick and maybe talk about it a little bit.
Our beginning predictions, I think the
CVO-ST.
If you can get that thing clean out the hole, it's going to stay out there, and the race is over after that.
We predicted wrong. Very wrong. We said that the CVO-ST was not going to hook. I think it
took a little practice.
It took, just a little babying to get it right. But once it was right, when you guys see this, you'll see what we're talking about. But once you got it right, it started cooking. Mm-hmm. It started cooking. It did not lay down for anybody.
It was gone.
You got to be on your shift points with it, though.
Yep.
It has a soft rev
limiter.
It has a soft rev limiter. What that means is it doesn't go boop, 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 and kill the bike. It'll just sit there, and you just won't be going anymore, and you don't even know you're on a limiter. So you have to kind of pay attention to make sure your shift points. I was shifting early. I felt that was probably the best for me because once I felt the power start to die on the bike anyway, shifted. There's no point in sitting out there and waiting for the RPMs to just rev because it's not going to do you any good. Yep. With a cam and a good tune, it's going to be nasty.
Either one of them bikes.
Either one. And if you can really ride them, and with a tire. Yeah. I think a tire alone will cut a lot of time down on these bikes and give a lot of bikes hell.
You will hurt a lot of feelings.
Yes. Guys, you've seen a few videos ago that we took that 121 with a cam on it versus that 124. Is it 124 or 128? Same thing. And top end, that 121 came around him like he was standing still.
And he was on a stock tire?
Yep. Let's go check it out. All right, I'm going to tell you guys what I like and what I don't like about my bike, guys. Let's walk over to it. First thing first, right there. The floorboards, horrible, bro. Horrible. They could have did a better job. I actually had to put skateboard tape because my feet were sliding, especially when you're on the highway. So if you're looking at my floorboards and you have these, go ahead and put your little skateboard tape on it. Now you're probably saying, well, are you sure? Are you 100% sure? Well, guess what? I took the skateboard tape off this one, and my foot was like sliding all over the place. It was uncomfortable to ride, especially on the highway doing numbers. Next thing I would say is the windshield.
Yeah, and that goes for both. The windshield's on both.
Yeah, the windshield did no justice. Right. We ride with full face helmets that kind of gave us like a little bit of help, but
this one does look nicer than the factory on the Stranded for sure. I like that it says the Harley there and everything, but neither of them are good. They both got to go.
And last but not least, we both were in agreement.
The handlebars.
The handlebars are crazy. Hey, whack.
Harley, you got 95% of the way there, and then you just threw it all the way right here at this end here.
You cheaped out on us.
What were you thinking with that wagon, just steering them down like that?
I mean,
when you go back to back, you really see that this was way off. I mean, you had it, and then you just went down like that, and you ruined the whole look, the whole comfort, aesthetic, everything just went downhill.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. You did the riser setup, you did the smaller bar, but you would have been better off doing a flatter bar.
Definitely.
Just go ahead and go all out.
And not so wide.
And not so wide.
Not so wide.
You did give us braided brake lines, but like I said, at the end of the day, it's kind of like pointless when...
It's a CVO, though. I mean, it's got to have these nice brake lines that are going to come with it. That's great. Beautiful. Thank you. But what'd you do here? Tighten it up, straighten it up, tighten straight. That would have been the bar.
All right, so last but not least, my seat.
Yeah.
I don't say it's horrible, but I don't say it's great either. I could get a couple of hours out of it, and I'm not gonna cry about it, but
I didn't ride distance with the bike. To me, it looks great, and to me, it wasn't uncomfortable.
right.
But I can see where a 20, 30-minute ride where it
Look.
would,
That's it.
yeah,
That's it.
it just goes away.
Yeah, there's no memory foam in that one.
Right.
But you know, the CVO is premium. Okay, the CVO is premium. Everything they do is supposed to be like the best
Yep.
that they have and that they can come up with. Brakes, rotors, I
Yep.
love it.
Beautiful.
I love it. The
You got
carbon,
hub mounted rotors.
yes, hub mounted
Beautiful.
means it's inside. You know, the hub's
This-
here, it's mounted here.
This over here, what I got going on there, horrible.
Now let's-
horrible. Hate the rims, hate the rotors. But I mean, hey, you've got a little money,
Yeah,
right?
They'll
You
come
save
off.
some.
They'll come off.
You save some money, maybe do some rims and rotors.
Hey,
I don't know. I'm
hey,
just saying.
everything he's talking about. Everything he's
Stay in stock, though. Stay in stock.
All right, so let me take a look at them. Let's be honest, guys. Look at those, and I'll look at these.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they might be a little bit better than past practice, but at the same time, I wouldn't have did the two-tone. I see where they were trying to come from, but
Not good.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
at
And
all.
why they brought it out to the edge of the wheel like that? They should have just stopped it at the spoke, maybe, and just
Right
left it.
here.
Why
Yeah,
they
should have
did all
stopped
that?
back here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So rims, terrible.
Rim's terrible.
You know?
Rim's terrible. Air breather. Now, it's functional. Let me tell you why, guys. They came out with that, I don't even know what you called it, the ventilator. Remember the ventilator? And it was very thin, very paper cone-ish, very thin, and it would catch air, try to catch it in the back and all that. This is direct flow. A lot of guys you'll see still rock these. This one is a rebrand of, you know,
The heavy breather.
the heavy
thing,
breather.
something like that?
So yes, I got to give heavy breather to the CVO ST.
Yeah.
I say this one's not terrible, but I don't think it's going to stay on this bike long.
It does its job. It's quiet. It's comfortable. It doesn't bother you.
Yeah.
And they expect most people are either going to leave it
Yeah.
or take it off.
And it's out of the way.
It is very out of the way.
Mine is out of the way, but you know,
That one doesn't. Yeah,
it doesn't bother me, but where they put the brake does. So maybe one has nothing to do with the other, but yeah.
Right.
Now let's go paint job.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. What is this called?
Billiard gray.
Billiard gray. Okay, I don't have a problem with the billiard gray.
Right.
I don't have a problem with it so much that I know it can be accented very well. Now we were just talking about you're interfering, that it's the flat Harley, you know, cheap out paint scheme or color that they use,
Right.
but it's not gonna stay.
Right.
What are you gonna do?
I'm probably just gonna do gloss black the whole thing.
Better than going with
Color match.
paint match.
Yeah.
I would not paint match with this bike. It's too much black, and it would make it all look like it runs together. But the amount of money he saved by buying this instead of a CVO, because he could have, but the amount of money he saved, he throws it all back into the bike to make it his own personal special look.
Blank canvas.
Blank canvas, guys. Now, he has a Clockworks windshield. I got on the bike, I didn't even feel any air, but I didn't tell him. I didn't even know you had the windshield on until we
Right.
stopped riding.
Right.
I was like, man, hey, wait.
Can't see it.
Because all I saw was a sticker when I got off the bike. That's badass.
It
I'm being
flows.
honest with you,
Yeah,
it's
it flows.
badass.
Yeah. I think you can see, especially once I paint it,
Yeah.
you'll be able to actually see the figure of the bike and not a dark black windshield that takes into the figure of the bike.
Right.
That's personal preference. I mean,
Grips. I didn't have a problem with the grips.
right.
I
Definitely cheap.
actually liked them. I actually like the handlebars. I actually like this whole setup. I really like this. I really like it. And if I do bars on my bike, I want to use this instead of anything else. So now we got to find it. What else we got? You see his bike is mainly stock. It's an all stock bike. Stock linkage. He hasn't put. Are you a hill shifter guy or no?
No.
He's not a hill shifter guy.
No.
I'm not a toe shifter guy unless I'm racing, so I really had to get my feet up real quick and start shifting this bike because, like I said, I locked it wide open at first.
Yeah.
Tail lights. I like what they did. I like what they did. And matter of fact, they got, you know, they just took them from one bike and put on all of the bikes.
They didn't switch that up.
So it's not something that you have to kind of like go after for the aftermarket. Next thing is the docking hardware came with the bike. Mm-hmm. What's this? Oh, this is from your other seat?
That's from, yeah. It's a little something I had.
Yeah, a little something you added.
The two modifications I've done to it, it is bone stock, guys.
But
exhaust,
this seat,
everything.
This seat looks way better than the old seats.
Yeah, oh, big time.
Like it's actually cut for somebody who's gonna ride. Before, remember, it was just like a high mounted foam pad, and it was no help to anybody. But
it's funny. The stitching is great. It even matches the damn bike. You could even say, yeah, it's color matched to the bike.
So we're gonna go ahead and say it. This is probably the last time you're gonna see this bike.
Oh my
stock.
God, I don't understand.
Hey,
why.
I'm trying to convince him to ride to Daytona with me with stock pipes. I don't think it's gonna happen.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Hey, mark my words. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I hope it does, because you know I can't be alone out here.
Man,
riding stock bike.
We'll bring it up the rear. Don't worry about it.
So guys, I mean, everything that they did to this bike, I just believe that they did it right. You don't have to go and paint your rocker box cover when you go and get your stage 2 or whatever you're gonna do. There's some secret carbon fiber in there. The heat shield is beautifully matched to the bike.
The engine paint, even the engine is painted.
Remember, guys, when you get a CVO,
it's beautiful.
It comes with a finish to it. Only CVOs have this paint. And I think it's like granite black or something like that. But yeah, you know, comes with the spoiler fairing here. The standard does not. Now, I think that would be a good idea because it hides a lot of the what is it? The
water cooler.
The water cooler components. Yeah. You know, from the side. You know,
it looks expensive.
Just
the CVOST looks expensive. You know, it is expensive and it looks expensive. So
yeah, guys. Now, I would not have bought this bike if it would not have been the 25th anniversary. I want to add that to this story because I feel like this bike is going to have a little bit more value at the end of the day than any other bikes that came out in 2024. Could I be wrong? Yeah. But do I think I'm wrong? No. I think that's it, man. I think we hit all the nails on the head.
Yeah.
Taking these bikes out, we've done our job. We really tested them, and we're out here having fun, man.
Well, yeah, I think that's the most important thing that we could take from all this. It was fun on stock bikes.
Fun
Harley,
stock
you
bikes.
gave us fun stock bikes. Thank you.
Yeah, Harley, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
You got me out here on a CVOST, but
stock as hell.
All right, guys. Until the next time, I appreciate you for watching, joining, and subscribing. Peace.